Scary stories, legends, folklore, and frights for days. 'Tis the spooky season for ghost tours in historic Old Town.
6-block haunted walking tour of Alexandria, murder, mystery, mayhem, hopefully lots of ghosts.
Are you guys ready to get creeped out tonight? Yes!
Alexandria Colonial Tours does this every year, but in my line of work, there's nothing quite like the immersive experience, especially when it comes to creatures of the night. So myself and several new friends took a step back into the 1700s and put our lives into the hands of some of Old Town's most capable ghost guides.
I told the boss when I was hired that if I didn't like it, I would quit, and I think it's going to work out.
Barb McAdams gave the very first Colonial ghost tour along these storied cobblestone streets around 40 years ago. Since then, this locally owned and operated business hasn't looked back, except to make sure nothing follows them home in the dark.
I think they'll all make it back alive.
What's your survival rate?
About 75%.
75%! 75%! That's not bad.
Hi, here for the ghost tour?
Yes.
Under what last name?
The whole walking tour is about an hour long, given by your very own Colonial guide, complete with era-appropriate attire.
Then I have the knee breeches on, cut just below the knee.
Come on.
With the skin-tight socks, and that was to show off your calves.
Guides take you through neighborhoods comprised of original 200-year-old homes by lantern light, showcasing the intricate architecture of one of the area's most historic cities, just a stone's throw away from D.C.
I love this city, and I love showing it off to people.
Super cool, really interesting to hear the history of kind of a place I grew up right next to, but never really explored properly.
As the crisp autumn evening air stings your face ever so slightly, you're reminded that unlike some of the beings you might encounter on your tour, you are in fact alive. After all, ghosts aren't real, right?
If you see me start to run, you should follow me.
I've had many customers who have actually gotten strange things in their pictures that I cannot explain.
I'm kind of scared, but I'm mostly excited.
It's worth it.
I do not share any stories that I do not believe myself.
And those stories, whether they take you past a haunted home,
Here, just in front of the house, we have several bizarre deaths, all connected throughout history.
a ghostly gelato shop,
I remember going to the candy shop you talked about earlier. Never knew it was haunted.
or any number of eerie, unearthly backdrops.
So this gentleman settles into sleep, but several hours later, he is awoken by the sound of footsteps coming up the staircase.
All the tales you hear are thoroughly vetted.
Like all the stories are researched based on like historical documentation, have to do with famous people in local history, and you're sort of tying that history with the spooky stories together.
I don't know if it'd be my favorite, but the story about the little girl that follows people home, that freaked me out.
Probably like the house where the guy, like he ran across whatever and he fell and died.
That's a little intense, man.
I liked it.
There are two different tours, a north and a south route, and you may or may not end your Colonial Ghost Tours experience standing on top of dozens of spirits in one of Old Town's oldest cemeteries, across from the tomb of an unknown soldier.
A number of times over the years, I've had people say that he appeared behind me while I was talking about him. And I'm the only guy that that's happened to.
How does that make you feel?
A little concerned.
So come out and beware, and if you hear something behind you, don't look back.
You may think it is a dear friend playing a prank, but I beg you, please remember, there is an equally fair chance that something has simply decided to follow you home from the graveyard. Thank you for joining me on this secret tour through the history of Old Town Alexandria. You guys were delightful tonight.
In Old Town, Matt Koufax,
Come and join us if you dare.
WTOP News.